Okay, so you'll need to click that. It's okay to record. So today we're going to talk about creating a product that your clients actually want. And so get out some pen and paper because you're going to want to take notes. So, so Philip, I know you're in the financial industry, correct?
Yes. Yep.
So do you create your own products, or do you have products that you have to sell from a company?
I create my own.
You create your own products. So you really have the flexibility then which is perfect, because it's really hard when you have to sell someone else's products and you don't have a lot of flexibility with all of that. So perfect. Okay. So, so one of the things that when it comes to creating products that your clients want, there's a couple of things that we have to consider is, because when you've worked with clients, you know what their pain points are, you know what their problems are. And really what we're trying to do is we're trying to provide a solution to the pain points, to the problems that they have told us that they have. And so here comes Miss Bonnie. Hello, darling. You're on mute, darling.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I got your message last night, but I was so tired I didn't send you back one.
That's okay. That's okay.
You're on my list today.
Okay. I miss your face. So we're talking about how to create a product that your clients actually want. And so, and Bonnie, this is Philip. Philip he does financial services. And I met him at on a BEST call. I was doing a workshop for BEST, the local Kitsap group here.
Yeah.
So, so Bonnie does life coaching. And so both of you guys have you get to create your own products, which is perfect. Because otherwise, like I was telling Philip, it's really hard when you have to sell someone else's stuff and you don't really have the flexibility of that. So I have a couple of different ways to figure out how to create something that your clients want. So the first thing obviously is the pain points, is solving the pain points. And so Bonnie, what are some of the pain points that your people talk about when you are coaching them? What are some of the pain points that they are talking about?
How to change their behaviors and knowing who they are. I always freeze when you ask me these questions. Learning that their behaviors aren't who they are, but needing to know how to go about that. They know they want to make a change, but they don't know how to make it. Okay. And they've tried books, they've tried seminars, but what they haven't had is what they need is the long-term accountability and support in order to be able to keep doing it.
Yes.
So
perfect.
Yeah.
And then Philip, what is a major pain point that you hear from your clients when you're talking with them?
Yeah, a lot of the same. I mean, I'm helping people get out of debt or helping them with budgeting. So those are the main physical pain points. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a lot of maybe education around how they can do those things better in their own lives. And
do you work with people on how to make more money, or is it just on how to use the money that they already have?
Yeah, I don't do anything with job searches, but yeah, basically looking at what they already have.
Okay. So do you have people that are, just in a career, or do you also work with entrepreneurs?
I guess I could now help people that are self-employed now that I have some experience with it. It was daunting at first to say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could definitely help people that are self-employed.
Okay. So that's really helpful because you really can almost create multiple packages based on their situation. So you could have a package where you're helping, Joe Blow that has, a $20 an hour job versus an entrepreneur who is making six figures. The problems are going to be different for each of them. But the funny thing is that one thing you note, if you heard more money, more problems, they still have the same problems. They're just have more money. But when you look at it, sometimes they still wind up being as if they were making $20 an hour based on how they spend their money, how they, right? So it's the same principles, but you can attract completely different target audiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Bonnie, I know focuses working with women. Do you find, Philip, that your clients are both men and women, or who do you seem to attract?
Yeah, it seems like there are more women that seek out financial coaching.
Okay.
So probably the same.
Interesting. I wonder why men do not seek out financial coaching.
I think it's kind of that asking for directions kind of mentality, you know.
I can find it. I don't need a map. I know where I'm going. Wandering the parking lot, trying to find that
15 turnarounds later.
right? Just go to the gas station. No, I will not do that. Love it. Okay.
Or listen to your wife. No.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So if you were to, I want you guys to draw 2 circles on your paper, and then each circle, I want you to draw 4 little circles around on it. So around the sides. So this is going to be the profitable sales formula that I'm going to show you. And so in one circle, you're going to write, in the big circle is going to be problem. And the second circle is going to be solution. So in the problem circle, on the four within the 4 circles, we need to first identify a problem. We need to create an emotional pain. We need to find an audience for that problem. So is there an audience that people actually want to solve this problem? And then will they pay for that solution? So what's the resolution? Okay, so we have a problem, we're identifying the problem. Is there an audience? We're going to create an emotional pain, and what will they pay for it? Okay. And then with our solution circle, we are going to create a solution with a product of some sort. We need a syllabus, which is the solution, which is this is how I'm going to walk you through, like the pathway to it. We need a test audience, and we need a beta test.
And those 2 are different?
Yes.
A test audience and a beta are 2 different?
Yeah. So a beta test is essentially, you are testing you're testing your theory. You're testing, is this going to work? Getting feedback from people while they're going through your program, ironing out the kinks. It's okay for it to be imperfect, because they know coming in as a beta, it's not going to be perfect. And there's actually a lot of beauty that can happen there, because you're learning while you're teaching. And you know what I mean? It's that give and take. So they're helping you, you're helping them. It's a win-win. And then you can take the feedback and make improvements and say, oh, I didn't think about that, right? Because we can't see what we can't see. So the things that we need to really figure out with this sales formula is the current reality, the current struggle that someone is facing, and we want to be able to get them to a transformation. So what solution does your product provide? is basically the question that we need to find out is, how does your product solve a problem? So it helps them get out of debt, helps them save money, helps them improve their credit, I'm sure, save for something important, vacation or whatever, but have more control of their money. And right, instead of their money controlling them, they have more control over the money. And Bonnie's is, I'm helping people figure out who they are, how to be the best version of themselves, and to stop living in constant struggle and pain and like, why isn't my life working? Why does everything happen to me? Right? There's a reason why, and Bonnie's going to teach them how to do that. Okay. So what can be really helpful to do is to create a list. If you were to do a side-by-side list, and one side is problems and one side is solutions. So if you were to think about the emotions, if you were to think about the pain, if you were to think about, like, for example, I'll use mine as an example. So my product, my clients might feel overwhelmed, and my product provides them with relief, right? So overwhelmed with technology, and now I can relieve that stress from them. Okay. They might feel like there's not enough time to get their program up, their course put together, whatever it is that they want to do. There's not enough time. I don't have enough time. And what my product offers is, I'll alleviate some of that from them so they can stay in their zone of genius. So you can kind of see here, what is the emotional pain and what does my product provide? What is the solution that my product will give them? So it's kind of like that before and after, if you were to put that side by side. And the reason why that's really important is because these keywords you can use those in your marketing. And one of the things that I think is really important that we're going to talk about is market research. One of the things that was really important to me when I was a photographer before I started doing business consulting is I wanted to get inside the head of the women that I was photographing. And so I sent out a survey, an anonymous survey, and I asked them really deep personal questions, and I got inside their head and I was like, holy crap, I just stumbled on the gold mine. And what a business coach told me was, use their words. Use their words in your marketing, in your copy. So like talk to that one person. So if you have a client that you're like, I want to like clone this person. They are amazing. They show up, they do the work. You talk to them in your marketing, talk to them in your copy. You are trying to attract more people just like them. And so one of the things that we have to do is we have to do some market research in order to figure out what it is that people want, because I made assumptions one time about what I thought people wanted. And Bonnie, you know this. So I created a program that I thought everybody wanted and nobody bought it. Remember that, Bonnie?
Yeah.
Because I didn't do my market research. I made assumptions about what I thought people would want.
Mm-hmm.
And so I learned the hard way, but I don't count it as a failure because I learned something, right? Every time. So doing some market research. So if you could ask your potential audience anything, if you could ask them one question that is deep and it's going to help you help them, what would that question be? So really think about that.
I would ask them, what's the one thing that gets in your way all the time?
Okay. So what's the one thing that always gets in your way? So you have a goal, you have a dream, you have a vision, you want to do this, you want to write a book, or you want to be a famous dancer. What's in your way?
You wanna flourish after a divorce. You want to make changes in your life because you survived cancer. You want to, whatever it is, right? Like, but what's the one thing that stops you every time?
Okay, perfect. So Philip, if you were to kind of like piggytail off of Bonnie, because I think her question could be really helpful for you too. How could you take that question and use it for financial?
Yeah, I kind of like it's kind of the miracle question idea where it's like, what would your life be like if this issue were not in your way?
Exactly.
Right?
If the lack of money wasn't in your way, or if you didn't have piles of debt.
Yeah.
Because I imagine that having piles of debt feels really stressful, and there's probably a lot of anxiety around that. And oh my God, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul every month, living paycheck to paycheck. If I lose my job, I'm going to be homeless. Like all of that stuff comes through when it comes to money. Right?
Right.
Okay. So then what we're going to do is once we discover what that thing is, and you know this, like that's the beauty of it, is you've probably know this, but it's always a good idea, like ask that question on your social media, ask it to potential clients, reach out to people and just say, hey, I'm doing some market research. Would you mind asking one question for me? I promise I'm not going to sell you anything. I just genuinely need to know what this answer is. I trust you to, help me with this. So someone that you probably know. Okay. And ask them and start writing down what the answers are. And then take a step back and say, does my current offer solve this problem for them? And if it doesn't, if you're like, oh, I never thought about that before, then you can make shifts. You can create something new. You can create a product that will actually be something that would work for them. Because sometimes, like I said, we don't know what we don't know. And we think we're mind readers, but we're not. So never be a mind reader. Instead, ask the questions, get the clarity, and then say, can what I have actually help this person? And sometimes we have to say, no, that's actually not in my wheelhouse, but maybe you know somebody that you could be a great collaboration partner where you can refer them to that person who can help them. So you focus on your zone of genius. So you don't have to try to solve everyone's problems. So maybe you're like, you know what? Maybe Philip, you have clients that are like, I want to figure out how to help my kid, how to save money for college. Maybe that's not in your wheelhouse. Maybe you're like, you know what? I actually know someone who specializes in this, and I can hook you up so you can get the help that you need from them on how to do that, how to set up those programs that they have and stuff like that, right? So knowing where your zone of genius is and where it's not, so you can still be the hero. You can still help someone by giving them a resource. Like I was chatting with someone the other day. I asked a question on my Facebook and I was like, what's the big idea? What's the big dream? And people are like, me, I have stuff. And I would just reach out to them and say, what's the big dream? Like, what is the idea that you have? She's like, I want to be a speaker. I want to speak on stages. I'm like, I know someone. Let me send you their information because I know someone that helps people book speaking gigs. So let me connect you to them. Boom. I literally was just like, I wanted to genuinely help people and I wasn't selling them anything. Cause I'm like, if I can help someone, perfect. If I can't, I might know someone. So we're going to create an offer that solves the problems that involves your superpowers or your expertise. So don't create offers that are not in your zone of genius. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is we need to create that step-by-step, what's the journey of taking them from problem to transformation using your program, your service, your product, whatever that is. What's the step-by-step? Step one, we're going to do this. Step two, we're going to do this. Step three, we're going to do this. What's the transformation? How many steps does it take for someone to get a result? Okay. So there's a couple of different, there's like four, there's a little bit more than four, but there's about four main types of offers that you can create that can help solve problems and create solutions. Okay. So the first one is one-on-one. So you're doing one-on-one coaching and you are working with people on individual bases. Then you have what's called like a flagship. So a flagship can also be, you may also hear the term evergreen, but it's basically like a course or a program or something like that, that is kind of, it can go on repeat. It may be a group program where you are feeding off of each other's energy. You might be teaching. So one-on-one, flagship. And then there's what's called ascension, which is the third one. And ascension is basically what happens after they complete your program. So are they cured? Do they still need support? So it's like being able to, they've completed phase one, and now you can continue working with them in an advanced level. So that could be things like doing a mastermind. They've already learned, you've already taught them the skills, and now the mastermind is just continued support. You could do affiliate marketing. So you could give them where basically they love the results they got so much that they can now they can earn money by referring people to you. You could offer a retreat, right? You could offer advanced content. And then the fourth way is what's called a downsell. So a downsell is basically, it's not really something that you promote or you advertise. It's kind of something where you have someone on the phone and they're really interested in what you have to offer. And then they say, I don't think that's going to work for me. That's not on my budget. I don't know how I'm going to afford that. So you can have something that will still help them, but maybe is a little bit on the lower price point to kind of like, so Philip, you might be able to say like, let me show you how you can pay me. I'm going to show you how you can save money that's going to pay for my services that might help you get out of debt, save more money, because there's going to be people like, but I'm in debt, but you want me to pay you money to save money. How do I make more money that way? Right.
Yeah.
So, right. So you got to kind of wrap your head around that and figure out how to overcome that. And there is a way to do it, because there is a gal that I know that she charges like $25,000 for her program. And basically she is working specifically with entrepreneurs. She's not working with Joe Blow who makes $20 an hour. That's silliness, right? So she's working with six-figure entrepreneurs on how they can manifest more money, how they can shift their energy around money to attract more money to them. So that's kind of how she focuses on the money element. And then I know another person who focuses on women who are divorced and how to rebuild their wealth. So talking about investments, so she doesn't do investments. She just educates people about the different ways to invest money and make more and make a good return. So it's really, I would say for you, figuring out specifically what it is that you want to help people with, and know that that specific target audience may not be the six-figure person, and it may not make you six figures, because you're going to have to help a whole lot of people in order to make a decent income, because the program that people that you're attracting don't have the money. So we got to figure that out for you.
Yeah, no, I've come to terms with that. I am more inclined to help people that are in that lower middle income range.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah, it can be really, really challenging, but I'm more than happy to connect you with people that I know that are in this financial industry, and you can talk to them and say, how do you do this? How do you charge when you are attracting people that are on the lower income side or in a whole lot of debt? I don't want them to go into debt just to pay for me, but you still need to get paid, right? So you gotta, like, how does that work?
Yeah, so I've come up with some programs that are kind of smaller sized, like
Mhm.
3 or 4 sessions.
Okay.
And when you add it all up and you're like, all right, well, how much would you pay to get out of debt? Would you pay
Mm.
$400 to get out of debt? Like that's a bargain, right? If you look at it like that.
Yeah.
Kind of done these little packages that,
Uh-huh.
have a good return on the other end where hopefully that helps. At
Yeah.
least.
Yeah. Right. Interestingly, because to file bankruptcy, you got to come up with at least like $1,800 in order to excuse all that debt. Right. So there's, but people figure out a way, right? They figure out a way. Okay, Bonnie.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So yeah, definitely I see that there could be some interesting kind of elements there. And I like what you're saying about how much would you pay to get out of debt? Right? Because in the end, that's the end result, is to eliminate $20,000 of debt. How much would you pay to make that all go away? Right? Cool. So then coming up with the big idea is, how can you stand out amongst other people that do what you do? How can you be different? Instead of trying to fit in with what everyone else is doing, how can you do something different? Right. And so I actually think that by helping people that are in the lower income bracket, you are standing out. You are, like, you found the gap in the industry where a lot of people don't want to probably focus on people that are lower income. They only want to focus on the big fish because the big fish have more money. Right. And it doesn't mean that you can't graduate to that. And it doesn't mean that you can't help both, because you can actually charge people with more money, and use that to supplement and kind of scholarship the lower income clients who still really need your help. Right.
Yep.
So one of the things that I also love to make sure that people know is that a confused mind says no. So making sure that I like to have like a landing page for each product. I have multiple things that I sell. And instead of having them all on the same page, I talk about them individually. And I have a specific page specifically for that one product, instead of, here, you could buy this for $5.99 and you could buy this for $5,000. And it's like, why would someone want to buy a $5,000 when they could see something for $5.99? Do you see what I'm saying? So I want to direct them to the page that is going to talk to them and that problem specifically, so that when you're talking to people, you can direct them, lead them exactly to the page that they need to see in order to sign up, make a purchase, whether it's sending an invoice. So it's kind of like you have secret pages. I like to call them secret pages that I send to people when I've spoken with them, or I think that what I have might actually help them solve their problem. I send them the specific page instead of going to, just go to my website, because you go to my website and you're overwhelmed. There's so much going on. So having a landing page for each product that you sell, not the downsell, because that's the downsell is when you have them on the phone and they're saying, I can't really, that's not really in my budget, or that's, so then you want to get them in with a lower price point, help them solve a problem at a lower price point, and then show, oh, wow, look at, you got results. Like, now do you want to upgrade and go higher? Right. So it's like the stair step. So you offer them in the middle step, but if they're like, no, I'm not ready to jump that high yet, then you can go down a step. And once they've graduated that middle step, now you offer them the next level. So you've got like 3 levels that you're taking them through, but start them at the middle, offer them the lower if it's not a good fit. And then once they've graduated the middle step, then you can offer them the higher step. Okay. So for example, the way that I have my stuff worked out is I do free stuff. Right? And I tell people about what I do, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to work with you. Great. This is my middle program. And then once they graduate from that, then I can offer them the higher level stuff. But I'm not gonna randomly go out and give them advanced content when they haven't even, like, that doesn't make any sense. So if you want to be a coach, so Bonnie, this is for you. And Philip, you may want to write this down too, but there are 6 things that you need in order to be a coach. So you need, number 1, product or payoff. So you need to have something to sell, obviously. You need a pathway. So what's the transformation and what are the steps to get there? Number 3, you need a platform of some sort. So whether that's has modules in it, whether that is, how are you going to teach? That could be Zoom, that could be whatever. So however you're going to deliver content or however you're going to teach them, you need to decide what that platform is going to be. Number 4, you need a syllabus. So if you're going to teach, what are you going to teach? What's the outline of that? Like a college course, right? Where you're going to see what you're going to teach. Number 5, you need tools and resources. And number 6, you need a community. And then as we're creating our product, there are 5 components that we need for our product. So whatever we create, there are 5 elements that we need to have for each thing that we offer. So each landing page, each thing that you're going to sell, each of these things need to be there. The first one is a name. What's the name of your program? What's the name of your offer? What's the name of your course? What's the name of whatever it is that you're selling? Number 2 is a description of it. What is it? Number 3 are the outcomes. So what can people expect? What results are they going to achieve by using your program or product, etc. Number 4 is the price. And number 5 is how to purchase from you. So how are they going to sign up? How are you going to collect funds? Any questions about any of that? So when you do a landing page, those are the components that you need for every single thing that you offer. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to break up my offers. I like to have at least three offers, like I said, small, medium, large. And then I go and I I answer all of those questions for each offer. I want to have the clarity that I need, and I want to make sure that I'm not accidentally duplicating things. And then the next process to this is going to be that step-by-step transformation. So from beginning to end, what's going to be the transformation, the step-by-step process. So it could be 4 steps, it could be 8 steps, it could be 12 steps. Doesn't really matter, because what you offer, what you offer, and what the steps are that people need to go through in order to get a transformation. So literally write that out, because you're going to need to talk about it in your copy. You're going to need to talk about that. It can become a part of your syllabus. It could be where this is what so this week we're going to focus on this, and these are the elements, right? So like, for my step-by-step process is going to be, first we have a strategy call. We figure out the big idea. Then we do an implementation strategy around that big idea. And then we delegate or we do it. And then we launch it. And then we offer support. And then we continue coaching. And, so thinking about what that process looks like for your clients from start to finish. And then really this like pathway, this like journey step by step becomes your signature program. It becomes the main component of what you're selling, is because you are selling a transformation. You are selling a solution. And then the next component to this is that, do you have success stories? Do you have proven results? Has anyone gotten results from working with you? Who are they? Where were they when they met you? Where were they at mentally? What was their emotional pain? And how did working with you provide them with a result, a transformation of some sort? So you can get testimonials, you can talk about their experience and what it was like working with them, but you need to be able to have people that have gotten results by working with you. And I like having those on my landing page as well as, proven results. I want people to know that I'm not a scam, that I'm a real legit person, especially if they don't know you. How many of you, like when you see an ad that pops up in your Facebook and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool, you go to the comments because you want to see what other people are saying about that product before you purchase it. Because then you'll see scam, this is a scam, or don't buy this, or you're going to see this is the best thing ever. And then you're like, okay, cool. So other people have had good results. So you have to have, you got to have it. You've got to have it. Even if it's someone you helped for free, could you write me something that says that you got a good result by working with me, that I'm a legit person, right? So the other thing, when we talked about, having 3 offers, I want you to also describe the audience that you want to target with that offer. So like Philip, if you're like, I'm going to have a package for low income families, I'm going to have a package for higher income families, and then I'm going to have a package for entrepreneurs. Okay. So then you can create a target audience for each of those offers, for each of those pages that you might set up. So that small, medium, large, the steps, right? Who is going to be the ideal person for each of those steps? Because it's not going to be the same people.
So can I ask a question that
yes.
is just the audience?
Yes.
So one of my programs would be like, if you're currently living paycheck to paycheck and would rather spend more money towards things that bring you happiness, is that what you mean by describing them?
No. So I would want you to those are people that are, have a job, right? People that have a job that maybe are working for the man, right? And they are probably, do they live in an apartment? Do they live in a house? Do they have children? Do they have roommates? When you think about the person that you've helped that was living paycheck to paycheck, go research them, find out everything you can about them. And then you can create, let's call an avatar for each of the audiences. So if you've helped someone that's living paycheck to paycheck and you're like, I would love to have more clients like this person. They showed up, they did the work. They were a pleasure to work with. We got along really well. You want to clone them. You want more clients like them. Go research everything you can about them. Where do they hang out? Where do they work? What's their income level? Do they have kids? Do they have animals? What are their hobbies? What do they do for fun? Right? And then your entrepreneurs, for example, that's going to be a whole nother audience. So these are going to be people that are, are they beginning entrepreneurs? Have they been an entrepreneur for 5+ years? Are they 6-figure entrepreneurs? Are they CEOs? Right? You could also have the middle person could be like a C-suite executive working for Google or something like that, right? Where you are essentially creating like an audience for each, because remember, talking on each landing page, each offer that you're going to have, you need to have a completely different, what's the emotional pain that person is experiencing? What is the emotional pain that a C-suite executive has? And how is that different than the person living paycheck to paycheck that it just has a job? How is that different than the entrepreneur? So you're going to have to get inside the head of these different audiences and figure out what their pains are and how you can solve their problems. Does that make sense? It's a lot of work, but I'm telling you, it will be worth it in the end once you can figure this out, because then you can customize your messaging, your copy, everything is around that audience. So when you are sending people to a landing page or whatever, you are talking to them. You're not talking to a C-suite executive on the low income. It's not this, they don't have, right? This is not the same. So you want to be really specific so that you want people to be able to relate to what you're saying. They want to feel like you are talking specifically to them, and they're going to feel a low income job paycheck to paycheck is not going to feel that they can relate to a C-suite executive. They're going to be like, I wish. They're not going to feel that they can relate to that person at all.
I have another question.
Yeah.
So on my website, I have like a pricing page or services page that has all of my kind of main things.
Mm-hmm.
That's still okay. And then have a separate like landing page that would also kind of cover the same thing.
So I might encourage you to switch things up a little bit. Okay. So it's 100% okay to have like an a la carte menu that says, this is a list of everything that I have, but it's not something that is prominently featured. It's kind of like hidden. It's there, but you really got to click on it. Right. So what I would encourage you to do is to have a different page for each type of person. So then you could say, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, click here. If you are a C-suite executive, click here. If you are an entrepreneur who's wanting to whatever, click here. So then it's almost as if they're choosing their own adventure. Then you can guide them to the information that they need to know so that so like on my website, with the Insource It Marketing Agency, I have, do you want to DIY it or do you want to delegate the whole thing out? Very different audiences there.
What's your website?
InsourceItMarketing.com.
I still didn't hear it.
InsourceItMarketing.com.
Insource it.
That's my new website. And then I have theevolutionaryentrepreneurs.com as well. So that's where I do a bunch of other stuff. So, but it's like the helping like identify people that want to DIY, launching an offer, launching a program, launching a course are going to be very different than people that are like, just do it for me. Different income levels, different goals, different time, different everything. So I need to talk to them specifically. And so I know who my audience is for each of those. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. So let's talk about pricing. Pricing your product is always like a really hard thing because there's nothing worse than Like when I first started out, I think I charged $350 for coaching, $350 a month. And then before you know it, I was feeling really undervalued. And I was like, wow, I am giving people so much content for $350 a month. I'm never going to make it to my income goals because I'd have to help so many people and I'm only one person. So I'd have to have a whole, right? And I was like, wow, okay. So if I want to actually be able to reach my income goals, I have to charge more money, which means that I had to feel like I was giving value, that I was actually, right, helping people, that I was worth it. Because I realized, Bonnie can appreciate this, I recently had a big aha moment where I was like, oh my gosh. So remember, Bonnie, a couple of years ago, I went on the retreat with Fidel, right? And he made me walk around the room and tell people that I was a $50,000 photographer, and it made me want to barf. And the reason why it made me want to barf was because I felt like people would say that it wasn't worth it, right? That what I did, what I offered wasn't worth $50,000. They would come have their pictures taken and say, why did I could have got this done at JCPenney's for less than $100 and I'm paying you $50,000. I didn't think that I was worth $50,000 because to me, in my mind, that's what celebrities pay. And we ain't got no celebrities in Bremerton that's going to pay that kind of price, right? So in my head, I said, that's not for me. There's no way I could ever do that. And I put myself in this little, nope. And what I didn't realize was that people valued me more than I valued myself, but they never told me that, right? They never told me that. So I was like trying to create pricing for people that of what I thought they could afford based on what I actually provided, based on the service that I actually provided. So one of the things that I think is really important to know, and Philip, this will be important for you, is that if your clients have clients, so someone who has a JOB is not going to have, their clients are not going to have clients. They're not going to have clients, okay? An entrepreneur or a C-suite may have clients, which allows you to price yourself differently. So as a business coach, I like to say, what is my clients, they're selling a service, they're selling a product, they're selling a program, they're selling something. What is that worth? If they're selling something for $250, they're not going to be able to afford me. Because the rule of thumb is that they should be able to pay you with 5 clients. Do you see what I'm saying? So if my client has a program that is $12,000 or $6,000, they might be able to afford me because my goal is to help them get those 5 clients, teach them how to attract those 5 clients to be able to pay for my services. And then they learn how to do it. They've built their confidence because now people are coming and paying for them. And they're like, oh my God, like I'm actually doing it. Like this is working. Now their energy shifts and they start attracting more to them. And now I've set them up for success, showing them how to do it. So do you see what I'm saying? So it's not, if I ask someone, I'm on a consultation call with them and I say, what do you charge your clients? And they're like, oh, I charge them $500. I'm like, then I know I need to offer her the downsell program and not my middle program, right? So that's really important because then it will also help you figure out what you should be charging as well. So the one thing that when you are pricing your product is you need to ask yourself, what is the measurable result that you're offering? So taking them from here to there. So Bonnie, what does it look like when someone graduates from your program? What are they able to do? What's the measurable result that people are getting?
I get told all the time that people get their life back.
Okay. So what's that worth to them?
Pretty much whatever it takes.
Right. Okay. And so Philip, what's the measurable result people get with you?
Couple of things. I have one where I'm like helping people with their credit score and improving their credit score.
Okay.
So like direct outcome of that would be to like maybe get a cheaper mortgage. Maybe they're home buyers, so they're going to get a better interest rate, which will save them tens of thousands of dollars, over
Okay.
30 years.
Yeah.
They have a better credit score going into that.
Okay. Perfect. So being able to help them save money, in the end, they're saving money, right? So that's a measurable result. I'm going to help you increase your credit score, which is going to help you save more money in the end in interest and fees, right? So then how many, in order for you to reach your income goals, let's say that your income goals are $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. How many clients can you realistically help in a week, in a month, in a year? Be realistic with yourself, because when I realized that, wow, as a photographer, I could only really truly help 3 clients a week, that limits how many people I can serve, which then puts a potential cap on my income, because I'm only one person, right? And I had to have time to actually run my business. I had to have time to actually create the product. I had to have time to network. I had a time, so I could only realistically serve 3 clients a week. So for you, how many clients can you realistically serve? So if you were to say, I can devote 5 hours a week to clients. Okay, so maybe that's 5 clients at 1 hour a week, right? So now you can say, okay, so if my income goal is to make $10,000 a month, then I need to figure out how much I need to charge these clients in order to reach that income goal. So be realistic with how many people you can serve. And then the other thing that I don't think a lot of people think about are joint ventures. So when you are helping someone or you're talking with someone and you hear that they have this struggle with something that maybe you don't offer, you can have a joint venture where that joint venture will send you a referral fee or an affiliate or something like that. If you get someone to sign up for their program, they're going to send you income. So don't forget that there are joint venture opportunities as well that you could put into like as bonus income or something like that, right? So when you are talking to someone and you're trying to, we don't want to justify our prices. We don't want to try to convince people of our prices. We want to say, this is the price. I offer payment plans if that's something you'd like to discuss. But what would you like to do? What would you like to do next? So then the idea, like Philip was saying, is would you like to trade me $400 to be debt-free? Would you like to trade me $10,000, Bonnie, to get your life back? Right? So then you're like, oh. So with this exchange of money, which is really just an exchange of energy, right? This is the result you're going to get. Does that realistically make sense to you in your brain that, ooh, if I do this, then I'm going to get this? So you have to position yourself in a way as the expert that you are the key to their problem. You are the key to solving their problem. And what is that worth to them? And it's okay to ask them, what would make you say yes? What is it worth to you to get your life back? What is it worth for you to have a better improved credit score? What is it worth to you to be debt-free? The other thing that's going to be really important to know is what's your closing ratio? So how many clients do you speak to per week and how many of them say yes? So if you're like, well, I have a 20% closing ratio, then how many clients are you going to need to talk to in order to get 20% to say yes? So right? Again, being realistic, making time, you're going to have time to talk to that amount of people in order to get right. So you got to look at your closing ratio. You got to go back through your stuff and say, okay, how many people did I talk to? How many people said yes? What was the average sale? Oh, crap. Oh, if I'm going to get any closer to my income goals, I got to make some changes, right? Because if you're not getting anyone that's closing, I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday, and she has been inadvertently repelling people from her. So she's been trying to close people into her program, but she wasn't closing them because she doesn't actually feel like it's ready. So she's inadvertently repelling them because she said, Elaine, I'm going to send you someone and I want you to talk to them. And if you close them, then I know that I'm doing something wrong. And I closed this person and she didn't. And I charged more than what she was offering.
Charging.
Right. And so she was accidentally repelling people. So one of the things that you can do, there's this thing called expensively affordable. And there's also this thing called a risk reversal. Okay. So expensively affordable is the various ways that you can break the money down for people that makes it feel manageable. And yes, they might want to throw up when you tell them how much you charge because it's scary and they're nervous and in their mind, they're thinking, is it going to be worth it? Am I actually going to get results? How do I know? What guarantees are you offering? Like, how do I know that if I give you $10,000 that you're actually going to be able to help me change my life? There's the, right? So you can offer pay in full discounts. So if someone were to pay in full that for your program, that they get a discount. People love discounts, but that's the only way they get a discount is if they pay in full. You can also offer bonuses. Okay. You can do 4 payments. You could break it up into 4 payments. You could break it up into 2 payments, right? You could say half down and then divide the rest over a year. You could do a percentage down and then the rest at the end of 30 days, however long your program is. You could also do revenue share. Okay, so Philip, that could be a good option for you, especially for C-suite or entrepreneurs that you have to give me 25% of your revenue share to pay for your services, for your ongoing services. Okay. So let's talk about risk reversal. So when someone is like, oh my God, I'm about to give this person $10,000 and I'm scared to death that it's not going to work out. So a risk reversal is telling someone your guarantee. If you don't get X amount, this result by the time we're done working together, then what? So one of the risk reversals that I've implemented is that if someone does not get the results, my goal is to help them make back their ROI. So I have a program that's $5,000. It's a very minimal program, but I'm basically saying, if you put $1,000 down, you don't have to pay me again until you've put $5,000 in your bank account. So what I've done is I've removed the risk for them because now they're thinking, oh, this lady actually knows what the hell she's talking about. She's telling me that I'm going to at least make the amount of money to pay her, and all I have to do is put a little bit down. So it eliminates the fear of, if I invest this money and I don't get the results that I was hoping for, which now it puts it back on me as the service provider that I got to bust my ass and make sure this girl is actually doing her shit. Otherwise, I'm going to have to continue working with her until she makes that back. Right? So it puts it in a different perspective for them that makes them go, huh, my last coach that I hired was $35,000. Did I have $35,000 in my bank account? No. But he said, If you give me $4,500, you don't have to pay me again until you put $35 in your bank account. So then I said, huh, okay. I hear you. I see you. Like, it took away the fear of that I was going to not make back my investment. So if you could position yourself in a way that helps people feel like, so like Bonnie, they're not going to necessarily make more money unless you're helping them improve their confidence, which then in turns helps them make more money. So if your whole thing is not about making more money, then you can't, right? You can't really say that, right? Philip, you might be able to wiggle with this a little bit because you're helping people learn how to save money. So it's just a matter of helping them save how much money, right? So that they can learn the strategy of how to save money. And then in turn, saving that money, they can use that to pay for you. But in all honesty, it's going to come down to the consultation. It's going to come down to the consultation and really figuring out where they're at, what their goals are, what that goal is worth, and then you can price yourself accordingly. And yes, you can have different price points for different people. That's the beauty of it. You're the entrepreneur. You get to decide. You can have a bare minimum, and then you can have, there may be some people that go, that's it? That's all you charge? And you're like, oh shit, I could have totally sold them for more money. You see what I'm saying? So does that help? Has this been helpful? Any takeaways? Anything you're going to go like, oh my God, I go do this right now.
Yeah, I think I need to rethink my website again. To kind of, I think I was trying to make it so like I have like fewer tabs up top, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was kind of just.
Well, but the thing is that you don't always have to have, they don't always have to be tabs, because you can hide things and it's just really a button that clicks to a hidden page.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah. So I would say whatever your 3 products are, have like a landing page that basically says choose your own adventure, basically. Right? Who are you? Which audience are you? Click the one that makes the most sense to you, and then it will take them to the information that they need to know. All on one page, like, here's everything you need to know about us working together. And then if they want to go read more about you or look at your blog or anything like that, it's there. But they really just want and don't make it about you. It's about them. So talk to them, tell them stories, add video, like do something that is going to compel them, tell them like a secret. Like, what is the financial industry not telling them? What is the credit industry not telling them? Right? And like capture their attention. You got to hook them in. Very, very good. And I actually have a thing. I have a worksheet about sales scripts. So if that would be helpful for you, I'm more than happy to send that to you. But you can basically take these questions and answer them onto your website. Okay. All right. So any questions? Bonnie, do you have any questions?
No, but yeah, I did pick up some great stuff. So I always get lots of energy and thoughts when I'm working with you, because you have that, and I need people to be around when I do that kind of stuff. So I was able to language out the step-by-step process of my work in a different way. And then I don't know what the other one was. I wrote it down, but let me see. It was a good review because I know I knew a lot of this. So it was a good review, and I wrote down some notes for myself in that review.
Yeah.
My questions are about the landing page. You knew it would be a technical one. The landing pages for each product. So I work with women going through transition. So lots of different reasons they come to me. They may want weight loss. It may be a divorce. It may be they're leaving corporate America. It might be they've been in recovery, or they're a cancer survivor, or they've gone through a divorce. All the things that women, empty nester. It never occurred to me to have a landing page for each one of those things.
Yeah.
And the other thing that came up for me was I've been doing my retreats, my virtual mini retreats, as quote unquote, the webinar that people would listen to.
Yeah.
The free thing, they come in, they go through that, they get to see me, experience me. It's the know, like, and trust thing, right?
Yep.
And it's always been open for whatever you want to come in for. So this is like, I could do a weight retreat. I could do a Are You Recently Divorced retreat. So I can name those retreats.
Yes.
Because the work I do is the same.
Yes.
With each client, regardless of what they're coming to me for.
Yeah. You're just creating a different audience. You're just attracting.
So that would be right. So that would be different landing pages, because I'm going to start talking more from that place, because those are all things that I've been through in my life. So I can, tell the story of when I went through that. And if you would like click here.
Yes.
So now I can do that with each of those things and have a landing page for them. Never even thought of that. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And so one of the things that I'd love to share with you guys is that, like, later this month, the weekend, the 24th through the 26th, I'm actually doing a Launch It in a Weekend event where I'm going to be walking people through, like, just having the idea. You don't even have to have an idea, honestly, because I'll help you create an idea, but being able to launch a program, a course, an offer, whatever it is that you want to be able to get out. There's a lot of times what happens is we stay stuck in the perfectionism. It has to be perfect. And I'm like, no, like, let's launch it messy. And I'm going to help you get launched by Monday. So there's a combination of teaching and co-working and getting all the things done that need to get done so that you can launch it messy. And so I'm really, really excited about it. The next time I'll be offering that will be in November, the first weekend of November. I think it's like the 4th or something like that weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because my goal is to really help you figure out that it's actually, we put so much energy in waiting for it to be perfect that I'm taking what I learned from doing that very first launch where I had nobody buy it. We're not going to do that, right? We're going to create a thing that people can buy before it's actually done. And so all we have to do is just do some technical things, but all of the things, the name, the description, the platforms, we're going to go through all of that so that you can create something that on Monday you can announce that you have a thing to sell. And if you would like more information, just reach out to me. I'm happy to send you the details about it if it's something that you'd like to do. But I'm really excited about it because I want to get people like quick results. And this is the way that I can do that. So, but we're going to use my system and we're going to get it all out. We're going to be a workbook. Of course, there's going to be a workbook because that's what I do. But you'll be able to, I will walk you through all the things, all the technical stuff, all the frustration, everything. You're going to have everything you need to get launched by Monday and sell stuff by Monday and make money by Monday. Okay. Including the sales scripts, including all the things. All right. So thank you guys so much for being on today. It was really fun I love helping people, and having open dialogues always really more fun than talking to myself. So thank you. Thanks for coming. And I hope it was helpful.
That was very helpful. Plus, it was fun to see you.
One
Yeah.
more question. So if I have these landing pages,
Yeah.
and they're point to my main page, does my main page then need to point back up to my landing page?
So I would do your home page, like your what they land on should be your choose your own adventure. Which audience are you?
Okay.
Right. You can have a little bit of information. You can have a picture. You can say, but you want them to click on where they'd like to go, and then point to the landing page that is going to give that specific product. Talk to them.
Okay.
And then have your offer at the end. All things we'll be doing and launch it in a weekend. So
Okay. Awesome.
you're getting a little secret sneak peek. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions.
Can you hang on for a minute, Elaine?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. Good seeing you
Absolutely.
again. Thanks so
All right.
much.
Thank you.